Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom. Giving honor and praise to the Most High, the Creator, the Maker of heaven and earth. We hope and pray that everybody is well and will be better. This presentation was intended to start at 9:15. Had to sit there and work on a couple of things, so we are a little later than we had hoped. But brothers and sisters, we want to talk about this, the matter of Tzar. Now, this is going to be a little bit different than the presentation concerning this in the past. And if you see inside of the description, you would see that we're going to be dealing with this from a matter of the prefixes and the suffixes matter. This is on the YouTube channels, More Yeshaya Torah Lessons and More Yeshaya Hebrew Lessons. We hope and pray, brothers and sisters, that you all will subscribe to the channel, comment, like, and share. I am timing this, putting myself on a timer, but don't want to give the people any less quality of a presentation. We understand that for some it's maybe a school night, for some it's a work night. And brothers and sisters, we want to bring this out to the people in love and edification purposes. So, brothers and sisters, as is the custom, going to stop the camera. We're going to start in prayer and ask the Most High to be with our mind and with our hearts, and how we talk to Him, how we bring His word, and brothers and sisters, how we bring our words to one another. Do we have the Most High in thought and said fashion? How to deal with one thing different than say another. How to deal with one thing wiser than say in another situation. Never hesitate to ask for wisdom. Well, I would like your wisdom upon this, or I like your wisdom upon that. There's nothing wrong in that particular case. So brothers and sisters, if I can be heard and people are in good spirits, please type in the number 4. If I can be heard and people are in good spirits, please type in the number 4, and that I cannot hear myself. In the time, thank you for that, my love, Sarai. In the times in the past, we have had it to where the audio wasn't the best, or so forth and so on. So we definitely, brothers and sisters, want to be abreast and on top of that particular case. Again, this is being presented on the channels, More Yeshaya Torah Lessons, as well as More Yeshaya History Lessons. Thank you for that, my brother, Yirmiyahu Yisrael. Alrighty, let us get into this. Let's start off in tefillah or prayer, and then let us go from that particular point. Most High, King of all that there is, Rock of all salvations through every generation. Asking thee at this time to even be with us, be with our minds, thoughts, hearts, O Yah. Be with those who know you not, and those who know of you but do not know you. Teach us your ways, O Yah, that we may know you. Let us not be ashamed. Brother, sister, elder, at the sound of the voice of this prayer, let us say, in concluding such, Hallelujah, Amen wa Amen. Giving honor and praise unto Yah, Creator, Maker of heaven and earth. I wouldn't call it a revelation or a chazon, but recently I just went through something. When I say recent, I mean within the past maybe half hour. I'm going to read something coming out of the scriptures, if we will. All right? And if I remember right, I believe I have. No, I don't have my Bible in my bag. So I'm going to have to ask y'all to please bear with me as I get it. Thank you for that, family. Toda Rabbah. But it's in Brother Yirmiyahu. If you're in, can you type it in? We're going to be reading in Proverbs chapter 10, verse 32, and then Proverbs 12, verse 1. Thank you for that. Again, Proverbs 10:32 and Proverbs 12, verse 1. Thank you for that, family. Sorry about that, family. I do apologize for that. If I can be heard and people in good spirits, because the mic piece on my end came out. We're going to be reading in Proverbs 10 verse 32 and then Proverbs chapter 12 verse 1. Thank you for that. All right, so I'm going to have to ask again because the mic piece on my end came out and I had to plug it back in. Sorry about that, human error. Can you let me know if I can be heard clearly? Some people say, oh, don't say that on the channel, on my channel, and it's not to sound haughty. I do ask, can I be heard? I'd rather be told up front than somebody say it later on when the brother's already into the teaching of Ruach and so forth. So that's in Proverbs chapter 10, verse 32, and then Proverbs chapter 12, verse 1. So if I can be heard and people in good spirits, please type in the number 4. Thank you. All right, thank you for that. We're going to be reading, thanks again, in Proverbs chapter 10, verse 32. The lips of the righteous know what is acceptable, but the mouth of the wicked speaketh forwardness. So let's go from there to Proverbs chapter 12, verse 1. Whoso loveth instruction loveth knowledge, but he that hateth reproof is brutish. So, brothers and sisters, in light of that, whoso loveth instruction loveth knowledge. So sometimes a thing can be dropped off to you, one way, shape, form, fashion, or another, for you to take it for edification purposes. All right. Hopefully those scriptures were understood. Proverbs 10, verse 32, the lips of the wise know what's acceptable. All right. Thank you for that, Sarai, for typing in a 4 because my mic piece came out. So I needed to know from the family. I don't want to call anyone a student. There's people who are older than myself and people whom I have respect for personally. Though people refer to me as a teacher or a more, I do not call brothers and sisters, and certainly not elders, students. All right, in that particular case. So let us pull up the PowerPoint and start. This is a 10-slide PowerPoint. We're going to ask you to get your pens, your pad, and your paper and to take notes. All right. Thank you for all who taking out their time to join in. Know it may be late for some, earlier for others. And I definitely respect the people who respect me to take out their time to want to hear me help moderate, comment, like, share, subscribe, and so forth. It definitely is appreciated. I want to give the people something worth their time, giving honor and praise to the Most High. As we say our prayers before Yah and ask for a heart of humility and a heart of clean flesh, not just per se flesh. Camel's flesh, pig is flesh, but maybe we can say a heart of clean flesh. Like, you know, a pigeon is clean. A giraffe is clean. Certain animals are clean. So just want to throw that out there, family, as a suggestion. All right. So again, if I can be heard clearly and people in good spirits, please type in the number 4 before we get into this. Thank you for that, brothers and sisters and elders. The matter of Tzar. Shalom, giving honor to the creator of heaven and earth. This presentation is brought to you from Day and Night Publications. We will go over the word Tzar and the meaning of it and the prefixes and suffixes of such. Thank you for that, family. Why do we want to go over this? Because Hebrew is very meticulous. Hebrew is very direct. And with the time allotted, we want to go over and show the family what we're talking about for edification purposes, giving people hopefully something worth their time and people giving their attention. All right, let's go on, family. Get your pens, your pad, and paper and take notes. Now, we're going to start from the left-hand side, but remember that Hebrew is read from right to left. All right, so we look at the laser pointer. right? And we see bazar, meaning in trouble. Second Chronicles chapter 15, verse 4, right? Then we have zar, distress. Job chapter 15, verse 24. All right. And we see zarai, my adversaries. Psalm chapter 3, verse 2. And zor, meaning straight. First Samuel chapter 13, verse 6. So zar, we can see means straight, trouble, distress. All right. The right hand side. And we want to circle this with the pen, if you will, family. All right. Thank you for that. Zara, Second Kings, and that means trouble. Second Kings chapter 19, verse 3. Zarato, his trouble. That's found in Isaiah 46, verse 7. 8 Zara, a time of trouble. Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7. And Zara, meaning trouble, you see in Isaiah chapter 30. So, brothers and sisters, what can we gather, if we will, right? Let us erase all of the ink on the side. We have Zara, Zara, 8 Zara, and we're going to color code, family, okay? This next one with the highlighter, Zarato. Zara meaning trouble. Remember, brothers and sisters, we went over in the past with the matter with the letter Hey and the matter with the letter Tau. The letter Hey and Tau, which is the 5th letter, all right, and the 22nd letter, are the 2 feminine letters in Hebrew. You find that in the book called Hebrew is Easy, Volume 2, for those who are interested. All right, you can get that book online as has been advertised. So now let's look. You have, and we want to show this, family, with the pen. All right, we're going to get the eraser because we want to show what we're talking about. Erase, erase, and erase, right? So let's show, brothers and sisters, with the pen, Zarato, that tau that you see there being a 3rd letter. Remember, Hebrew is read from right to left all the time, okay? So 8 Zara, the next one, we see here, right? Time of trouble. So Zarato, that ah becomes the O. It's not Zaraho. All right, so we just want to point this out. So if there's any questions or comments, please feel free to type it into the chat. All right, any questions or comments, please feel free to type it into the chat. Thank you for that, brothers and sisters. Next slide. 908-587-4841. 908-587-4841 for those who are interested. All right. Let's look at what we're looking at right here with the time allotted. Again, I state again with the time allotted because we are putting ourselves on a time limit in due respect to people who have things to do and still want to sit there and take out the time to listen. Let's look. We have here, brothers and sisters, right? With the laser pointer, to besiege, zar, from the word zur, to bind, to wrap, to form, to persecute. Highlighted there, adversary, distress, zar. Now what we're going to circle, brothers and sisters, with the pen, right, is zarim. Now let's remember that particular word. All right, let's remember that word zarim as we get into this for reference purposes. All right, family, thank you for that. This book you see there, you can get that book on Amazon or barnesandnobles.com. All right, Hebrew is easy, volume 1. In it, you will get the alphabet, the vowels, how to put the alphabet and the vowels together in order to formulate words. All right, just want that to be referenced in that particular case. But brothers and sisters, I'm asking family to please remember that word we just circled, because we're going to go back to it in time. All right, let's go on, family. Thank you for that. Here we see share and subscribe. That is to say, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Again, this is on Mordeh Yeshaya Torah lessons and Mordeh Yeshaya Hebrew lessons. So whatever channel you may see this on, we ask you all to subscribe and share. All right. The Analytical Hebrew and Chaldee Lexicon. You can get this book on Amazon for, say, anywhere between $30 or $40 or so dollars. All right. When I bought it in the store, it was for $30 out of a Barnes and Nobles that is on 5th Avenue in Manhattan. All right. So just wanted to put that out there for reference purposes. The Analytical Hebrew and Chaldee Lexicon. Now, family, you might see the cover of the book, and I don't like the term, but don't judge a book by its cover. Don't let the cross-looking image that you see on that cause you to not want to get the book. The book has great content within it. All right? 1 second. Thank you. As we move along. All right, family. So just want to show that for reference purposes. So what do we see in this particular book? All right, the Analytical Hebrew and Chaldee Lexicon for the word Tzar in translation. Adversary, enemy, distress, adversity, stone or flint. Here we see there, meaning flint. Here we see, we want to color code that one different, all right? In that particular case, let's look. I'm so grateful and thankful to the Creator that the actual thing is working now with the audio. I'm very happy. Those who know that history knew, a brother was like, oh boy. So what you just seeing being circled, Zara, female adversary, arrival, distress, adversity. All right. Then you see Zarata, anguish. Then we see Zoror, bundle, bag, or purse. Now, let's look at this, brothers and sisters. And I'm going to ask the brother to type in, and I'm going to read it. I didn't make a Hebrew slide of it, but it's in the scriptures. All right. So if the brother Yirmiyahu can sit there and type that in, it will be reading right now in Leviticus chapter 18. All right. Verse 18. This is in Leviticus 18, verse 18. Thank you for that, family. Neither shalt thou take a wife to her sister to be a rival, to uncover her nakedness beside the other in her lifetime. That is Leviticus chapter 18, verse 18. You see the word in some translations as rival. You see it as vex. But the Hebrew has the root word, Tzar, that we've been going over, brothers and sisters. I have never met a lady who was okay with a man moving on her sister after he moved on her. What did the Most High say? You should not take to a woman and her sister to vex her. Now, she probably know that you've been with a lady in the past, but she don't want that to be her sister in the past. And if you dealt with her sister, she ain't dealing with you. There's something the Most High knows of his female creation that is just no, not with Achoti in that manner, coming from the same gamete of the male and or the same gamete of the female. If you come from the same loins of the male or the same bowels of the female, or if you got the same mother and father, she's not going to want to deal with a man who was courting or dealing with her sister. I even asked that. Sisters who know themselves as Israel, I was about maybe 18, not to get sidetracked. I was about maybe 18, and I walked around and asked, sister, how would you feel if somebody tried to move on you and your sister? They looked at me like, you already know the answer to that. We was inside of a camp after one Sabbath. I was like, okay, never mind. Should never ask that. Okay, in that case. But, you know, being silly, not trying to be funny, I asked sisters some other time. No, I wasn't 18 at the time. I was in my 20s because I was already working in the city, but I was young. So I asked that, and the kind of responses that I got, I will not say on here. Her and that nasty such and such, they can sit there and do that if they want. Ain't no real sister going to do something. I was like, okay, okay, okay. So my point in emphasizing that is that has never been accepted. The Most High doesn't accept it, and the female creation does not accept it. So these are things we just want to point out to show reality in the scriptures, brothers and sisters. All right. Thank you, family, for commenting, liking, and sharing. Thank you for that. So let's look. The word Tzar, adversary, enemy, distress, adversity. All right. So now let's look at this, and we're going to erase the ink on this side, right? And we're going to look at this word right here. Tzar. Now let's look, straightness or distress. You still see that in the translation. Highlighter, so we can see what we're talking about. Straightness or distress. All right. So let's look, brothers and sisters. What do we see here? Mizarim. That is the plural of Mezar. So you have Mezar, and then you have what? Mizarim. Mem Zadeh Resh Yod Mem. And it all goes back to the word Tzar, because that mem or that M sound, all right, we want to show is a prefix as we've done in other lessons. So you have Tzar, Zer, Zara, Zoror, and then you have this mem showing as a prefix. Then you have the im showing as a suffix, the pluralization of such. And what does it mean? Distress or straightness. Let's continue on. Any comments? Please put it into the chat. And thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body, the flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters, whom the Lord thy God hath given thee, in the siege and in the straightness, wherein thy enemy shall straighten thee. Now let's look at this, family, for reference purposes. All right. And I want to show this. And I kind of wanted to do it in this particular manner, right? And let's look at this. Deuteronomy 28, verse 53, with the time allotted. Wa'akalta peri bitneka, basar baneka ubnoteka. Bain baneka, bat benoteka. Hebrew's easy. Get the book, it's available online. Asher natan laka yode wahe eloheka. Bamatzor ubmazok, asher yadzik laka oebeka. What word we want to focus on, brothers and sisters, with the time allotted, is this. Mazor. You still see that Tzar within it, but just prefixed with the letter mem and have an interjection with the letter wow in there. So when we see siege right here, in the siege, b'mazor. Now let's go back here. And we see Mezar, straightness or distress. And its plural is Mezarim. This is all shown in books. I'm citing the books where I'm getting this from, like this one here. All right. Again, Israel, no disrespect. Don't let the cross-looking thing in the front make you not want to get it. This is one of the best Hebrew books to get. No pun intended or disrespect. It's one of the best Hebrew books to get besides my own. And I don't mean to say that to sound arrogant. Let's go on, family. Thank you for that. All right. So we see right here, Matzor, siege. Let's remember that. Lamentations 1 verse 3 with the time allotted, family. Judah is going into exile because of affliction and because of great servitude. She dwelleth among the nations. She findeth no rest. All her pursuers overtook her within the straits. So when we look at this, brothers and sisters, with the highlighter, straits, and we see it color coded here in the light blue, Mizarim. Mem Zadeh Resh Yod Mem. This word Mizarim in Lamentations, which is in the scriptures, is translated plural straits. Let's go back to this dictionary. Straightness or distress. Mezar. Mem Zadeh Resh Yod Mem. Now we're going to erase all the ink on the side, and with the pen shown in red, Mizarim in that particular case. All right, let me do this real quick if I can, brothers and sisters. All right, it's because we already shown that. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for the time in said manner. All right. Let us expand that so we can see what we're dealing with. All right. Now, hopefully it's seen even better on the screen. So we see here, brothers and sisters, right, with the laser pointer, Mezar. All right. If I can be heard and people in good spirits, please type in the number 4. And I say this in due respect. If there's any questions or comments, please feel free to type it into the chat. Any questions or comments, please feel free to type it into the chat. You have the word here, Mezar, Mizarim. We see the definition of it already, right? Okay, let's continue. Brothers and sisters, we read this part already. Thank you for that, my love, Sarai. And we see straits here, Mizarim. All the pursuers overtook her in the straits. So you see that already in the scriptures there in Lamentations. See where we're going? Let's go into this now. Lamentations chapter 1 verse 5 with the time allotted. Her adversaries are become the head. Her enemies are at ease. For the Most High have afflicted her for the multitude of her transgressions. Her young children are going into captivity before the adversary. Told up for that, Elizabeth. So what do we see in this particular case? Right? With the highlighter. Adversary. Tzar. The key word we even started off with. Adversaries. Right? We see here Zareha. Now, I want to color code this highlighter, but in red and underline it. That hay there that you see, that's just there with the red under it, is where you get in the Hebrew the word her. Its foundation word as a noun, because the adversary is a person, place, or thing. It's a person. In this case, it's a noun, therefore. Adversaries. Zareha. Zar, adversary. Zareh, adversaries of. Zarenu, our adversaries. Zareha, her adversaries. As we went over before, right? In the book of Psalms, Zarai, my adversaries. So we want to show how Hebrew is easy and how Hebrew works. It's not different. Pardon me, I stand corrected. It is different. It's just not difficult. All right? So let's look, brothers and sisters, in this manner. Her adversaries, Zareha, before the adversary, Lifnei Tzar. Okay, so now, pardon that. We're going to go to the Hebrew. White lies say the N word, and I want to sit there and show that to be deleted. I'm going to correct myself on that because you got people who should not be offended, and I don't want to offend no one. All right? Just keeping it respectful. Who say we don't read. All right? I just want to put it like that. I'm going to correct myself, family, when I stand to be corrected. No problem. So let's look. Jeremiah chapter 21, because you don't want to mix that kind of language with the scriptures. I stand corrected. I'll take the loss on that one. Getting back into this, Jeremiah 21, verse 4. We're going to go to the Hebrew. White lies say we don't read. Let's go in, family, and close out. Thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel. Behold, I will turn back the weapons of war that are in your hands, wherewith ye fight against the king of Babylon and against the Chaldeans that besiege you without the walls. And I will gather them into the midst of the city. Now, when it says without the walls, it means outside the walls. All right. And that part that says without, we want to show highlighter. That part that says without comes from this word here, mekut. We're going to show that with the pen because of the green part with that. That word you see here, mekut, that's the part that means without or outside. All right. If there's any questions or comments, even rebuke, I got my telephone right here next to me that is sitting up there and showing both More Yeshaya Torah lessons, More Yeshaya Hebrew lessons. And my number is across the screen. So I don't mind rebuke, constructive criticism. We just went over Proverbs chapter 12, verse 1 earlier. All right. Let's continue in this manner. Brothers and sisters, when we look at the pen, and we want to show this, if we will, in the black, that besiege, and this is highlighted here in the black, ha-zarim. Remember that word zarim I asked the brothers, sisters, and elders to watch out for? Remember we went over that word here? Zar and zarim. Zar and zarim, which we've gone over before. So remember, I was asking, remember that. So zarim means distresses or distress, which could be put like that, or adversaries. So when we go back here, brothers and sisters, that besiege, hazarim. This is in the verb form. Zar, zara, zarim, zarot. That besiege. You say hazarim. You put the ha sound, brothers and sisters, there because you want to show that or which. Zarim, that besiege. So it means they who besiege, who are also the same as your adversaries. Let's continue on. Now, somebody was saying the quote black Hebrew Israelites don't read. So go into, according to this person, into quote the Strong's Concordance. Because according to some people, I don't know if they got the spirit of Esau like in Obadiah, when it said the pride of your heart had beguiled you. They are over in 1993. They estimated, not to count the children of Israel, in the United States alone, not counting Africa, the West Indies even, just in the United States in 1993, they said there's about 30,000 Israelites that profess this way of life. There may be more, certainly with the matter of the internet being out and word getting out there even more and stronger. Somebody was saying the black Hebrew Israelites, which we don't call ourselves that, we call ourselves Hebrew Israelites or Israelites. Some just say Hebrews, but we don't call ourselves black Hebrews or black Israelites or black Hebrew Israelites. That's not a name that we don't attach that byword black to it. All right, because our skin tone is brown. We're going to get into that to the family because we already know what it is. Strong's Concordance meets Raim, the duo of Matzor. Matzor, the same as H4692. Now, in the Strong's Concordance, H stands for Hebrew. In the sense of a limit, Egypt at the border of Palestine, H4693, same as H6492. Goes on to say, look up Strong's, H4693, Matzor from 86696, something hemming in. That is objectively a mound, besiegers, abstractly a siege, figuratively distress, or subjectively a fastness. Zur, the verb of such, to cramp, to confine, literally and figuratively, formative or hostile. So when you got Zar, Zara, Zarim, Zarot, Matzel, Mitzarim, Zur, Zurim, Zarim, all of them are connected, meaning adversary, besiege, distress. All of those words are synonymous in meaning. So in light of that, let's look, brothers and sisters, in this case. Just wanted to point that out. Let's go back, if we will, right? Lamentations 1 verse 3. As you see, we had concluded the presentation with the time allotted. How do you say Egypt in Hebrew? Anybody could type it in, whether in English letters and or Hebrew letters. How do you say Egypt in Hebrew is my question, family, if we will. And I'm going to ask the brother, if he's available, Yirmiyahu, to just type in what we're going to read, the verse that is. Deuteronomy 28 verse 68, and then we'll close out. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies, for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Deuteronomy 28 verse 68. How do you say Egypt in Hebrew? Mitzrayim. Spelt the same way, meaning straits. So as we went over before, the word yom, meaning day, the word yom, meaning time, day or time, the word yom, meaning such. Can we say, pointing this out here, that Mizarim from Mitzar, distress or adversary, can be the Lord will bring you into double distress in ships, and not the word Egypt itself, as if it's talking about the place in Northeast Africa. Deuteronomy 28:68, when it says Egypt, should be translated according to what we've all gone over, shouldn't be Egypt, because that is a name the Israelites gave that place. The people called Egyptians didn't call themselves that. They called themselves the people of Samatawi, or the people of Tassati, or the people of Waset, or the people of Menofer. They had their own Hamitic Egyptian names for certain things. Israel, we call them Mizrahim, meaning double distress. And hopefully that's understood. So in Deuteronomy 28:68, when it says Egypt by ships, we can carefully, linguistically say, you shall go into double distress in ships, giving honor and praise unto the Most High, the Creator, the Maker of heaven and earth. Subscribe to the channel, comment, like, and share. We hope everybody is well and will be better. All right, stay tuned. We intend to have more presentations as time goes on. Thank you, my lady Sarai, for moderating. Thank you, my brother Yirmiyahu, for helping out. And to everybody in the chat, Most High be with you all. Thank you for commenting, liking, and sharing. May the Most High bless us all. And reach out to a brother, 908-587-4841. Again, I'm open to constructive criticism. Shalom.